So I'm Tanushri. I had to introduce myself. I didn't introduce in the beginning, but I'm Tanushri. I am an environmentalist and a nature lover. I have been in the IT corporate field for a decade, around 10 years now, and I stepped out of the corporate world and entered into the entrepreneurship world in 2011. I am an energy transformational coach, and I also am writing a book currently. I'm an author of an upcoming book. Um, so, how about Karashilp? I would like to talk a little bit about Karashilp, how I started off with Karashilp in 2011. I had got out of my IT job. I moved out of the organization, and I was thinking, what to do next. And my husband had gifted me a sewing machine some months back, and it was just lying around. I had never sewed in my whole life till then, and I saw some denims lying around, and I just picked it up and I started trying to practice about learning about sewing. So Karashilp in 2011 when I started, Karashilp basically means in Sanskrit it means handcraft. So it started off with a passion of upcycling and handcrafting, which came together in the form of denim upcycling. So Karashilp has been around. I'm very proud to say that Karashilp has been a pioneer of denim upcycling in Bangalore, and we have serviced around 200 plus customers since the past 10 years. Almost 10,000 plus denim products we have made, customized, made our own collections, and we have sold through various channels. Karashilp basically it's a contemporary. It was visualized as a contemporary, eco-friendly lifestyle store. Um, we have products in the range of bags, personal accessories, bags, totes, home decor products, some jewelry and accessories that we experimented with, but I mean, we didn't go much into it. We are proud to be featured in publications like dailies and publications like Deccan Chronicle, Bangalore Mirror, Hindu Metro Plus, and many blogs and I mean, it was a bonus for us because that was not what I had started off with, but it was a big bonus to be appreciated for the work, and our work got featured in a lot of places. These are some of the products that you can see on screen. I mean, there have been tremendously. I was actually very. It was difficult for me to think which pictures to put and which not, because the amount of work done on these denims have been tremendously fulfilling and satisfying journey for me. So about my journey in this entrepreneurial thing was that my husband's denims were unused and lying in the loft. So, like I said, I'm guilty of hoarding stuff. And when I started sewing, I had no material to work on, and that's how I picked up this my husband's denims that were lying around. I went through some YouTube videos. I taught myself to sew, and I tried the products through with his denims, and that's where it struck me that this could be a beautiful USP, a product that is reused and upcycled. Plus, I get to uh, just my creativity was overflowing at that time, and I could just take a chance to work on the crafty part or the artistic part of that product. The denim is such a sturdy and stable fabric, and it is a blank canvas. Like I talk like I would like to. I mean, I was romancing denims for quite a long time, and I still do. Um, and that doesn't mean that I hoard denim. I have since 2011. I have been only using one denim at a time. When I go to buy, it's only one denim at a time. Once the denim is like completely used and torn and then unwearable is when I put it into my upcycling bag and I use it for other products, and then I go and buy out another denim. It doesn't mean that I've stopped wearing denim, but the thing is I've become more eco-conscious about buying clothes and denims similarly. So why I chose denim upcycling? it is an expensive affair to manufacture denim. When I went through, I mean, I was working through denims. I started reading a lot about how denims are getting manufactured and what is the process. And then I realized that what I picked up was the right material to work on. It was like a blank canvas, and I could really do anything and everything. The colors stood out on that. Whatever craft work I used to do, it could be molded and morphed into anything. And it's an expensive, and I understood that the manufacturing process is so tedious. Beginning with cotton as a crop itself is a water intensive crop, and a lot of pesticides and fertilizers are used to keep it, to help its yield, to improve its yield. The production cycle itself is a water intensive project. Plus there is a lot of GMO variety, hybrid variety of cotton that has entered into the market. The next stage of the cotton goes into spinning it, making it into yarns and then weaving it. And the denim manufacturing itself consists of using so many chemical dyes to give it chemical wash and, stone wash and this wash and that wash. It is, I mean, the amount of chemicals used in this process on the cotton fabric, and then these chemicals are let into the lake bodies. The water bodies get polluted because of these kind of pollutants that goes into it. The power consumption of weaving this fabric, of course, everything adds up. Everything adds up to all these things, to the whole process. So that's when I realized that I chose a denim upcycling was my choice of denim upcycling was the right one. Maybe it was, I mean, upcycling itself is a huge ocean, and I've just picked up a one tiny drop, but I'm very proud to say that I used that drop for the last 10 years, and I've been able to make a significantly small shift in the people's process of buying stuff. This for me, more than a business, has been an awareness project for the community around me, to make people aware and understand that a small change causes a huge shift. So these are some of my products. I would really urge everybody of you to go look around you and see what are the kind of products that you can pick up and upcycle. These are some of the early time products that I've made. You can convert a wine bottle into a light decor. You can convert it into a candle stand or a flower vase. This was a time before my HLP induction that I used to use a lot of curd, and I had a lot of this boxes that were available, and I converted it into small boxes with a little crochet and sticking in the jute rope and something like that. I used to do all these experiments. This was a car part, an air purifier, air filter of the car, that was converted into a flower vase, which I had given it as an entry into one of a upcycling contests, and it was all crocheted on a ocean theme. So what I would like you to do is, let's do something. Let's make something. I don't want this session to just go, just like this. So today I would like to share 2 DIYs, and the first DIY I would like to share with you is a grocery bag made out of a t-shirt. And the second product that I would like to share with you is a pocket magnet. Okay, so let's make something. The first DIY is a t-shirt grocery bag. So what is a t-shirt grocery bag? We have so many t-shirts lying around in our house. We end up, generally giving it, if it's in a good condition, we end up giving it to somebody who can and still use it. If it is something that cannot be used, but maybe you can alter the functionality of that product. The t-shirt bag is a new no sewing method that I'm showing currently, so that if you have a sewing machine at home, you can best use it. It doesn't need much. You can even hand stitches, but the method that I'm showing currently is a no stitch one. So this is a shopping bag, which you can just fold it, roll it, and just put it in your bag and carry it. You can have a couple of them, in your car. You can have a couple of them in your bag, in your bike. Just carry it anywhere, and you ensure that you're not using any more plastic bags. So let's see how to make this bag. Let's go to the next slide. So I have made a photo tutorial here. I'll just go through the steps so that it's faster now. So all you need is a t-shirt, a Caesar, some marker pens, a plate. I just used a plate for, calculating, just drawing a round semicircle. So first what you can do is just cut off the sleeves of the t-shirt. Then you just keep the plate on the neck part and just mark a nice semicircle so that you can cut off that neck portion evenly. Fold this t-shirt into half, and from the bottom measure around 3 inches or more if you like longer fringes. You can mark a line of around 3 inches and then mark vertical lines of around ½ inch each for the fringes. So once you get all the fringes, you can either decide that if you have a sewing machine, just above the fringes you can put a stitch around so that the fringes just look nice around like that. Or if you can hand sew, you can hand sew it. What I have done in this case is, when you open this t-shirt, you have the front and the back fringes. So there are 2 fringes in the front, 2 fringes in the back. So I have numbered them 1, 2, the front and the back, and 3, 4, the adjacent fringes. So we have to tie a basic knot, like a double knot that we generally, overhand knot that we do. Just tie 1 and 4, the front of 1 and the 4 of adjacent back fringe, you just tie it so that there is no gap in the bottom. There is no holes in the bottom. Just go on tying from left to right and you get a beautiful set of fringes here. So here I'll just show it on the camera right now. This is the kind of fringes that you can tie. It just looks a little fancy and the bag is ready to use. You can make sure that you don't cut very deeply, because once products go inside this, it extends, it stretches. So a small cut in the t-shirts actually becomes larger. So these are 2 of the t-shirt bags that I have made. So you can use any of your favorite t-shirts and upcycle this to grocery bags. Let me move on to the next one. The next DIY is to make, this is my denim project. This was my favorite product that I used to make, and I want to share this with you. This is something that I found very, nifty and utility. The denim pants, whatever your denim pants, maybe the leg part, you can use it for different products. The top part, some of the denims are like in real bad shape and you cannot use it. The back pocket of that denim, you can cut it off. As you see in the picture 3, it's like a pocket. It comes like a pocket. What you can do is, you can take like a 1-inch fabric strip of your choice. You use a fabric glue and just the top edge of the pockets, you can put the fabric, like fold over the fabric into half and glue it to the top. If you have magnet strips, I have used magnet strips here, but sometimes we have magnets, the coin magnets from other products that we would have saved from. You can reutilize that and you can use coin magnets here in the back of the pocket, and you can use this product, you can embellish it with some buttons or anything with paint or a block print or something, and use this on your refrigerator. So here is the product that I have made. So you basically just glue the fabric on the edges of the pockets and just embellish it with something. This is the magnet strips that I have, and it just goes on the refrigerator easily. And what I use this for basically is, like when I'm in the kitchen, I'm working something, I remember something, I just keep a post-it and a pen inside this. I know pens get lost everywhere in the house. So this is one place where it doesn't get lost and nobody touches it. So I usually use this to make my lists and note down some important thing that I want to revisit later. So this is another nifty product that you can really try at home. I'd really like to see some pictures of you having made these products. Please, I'm ready to take any questions if you have any questions. But and it was, I mean, I would like to leave with this uh, uh, quote in my next slide of the. I mean, don't think that you are the only one doing, following a certain path. There are many people doing this, but the thought that troubles or which is troubling is that everybody thinks that there is someone else to save the world. I don't need to do it. This is the famous quote by Robert Swan. The greatest threat to the planet is the belief that someone else will save it. And I really feel that everybody should imbibe our own personal responsibility and accountability. And I'm sure that going forward you would be involved more in the upcycling and recycling and reuse of the products that you have around you. Thank you, Velu sir, and the community for hosting me and giving me an opportunity to present on this topic today. It's a topic very close to my heart, and and I'm very glad to share it with the family and the community that I have in HLP. Thank you.